Welcome, everybody. We're on episode 2 of a mini podcast series. My name's Amnet.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Azu.
A little bit about us. We have a company called SmartFlow. We do AI automation for businesses.
What we're going to talk about today has a lot to do with how we are and how we started even. Yeah. Like when we met, we never imagined that we were going to start a business together. Long story short, we're here. That's what we're talking about today. You meet people and you don't know what comes out of it. Here is a living testimony of like a thriving business that's born out of connection. Every success that we've had as SmartFlow has a lot to do with somebody that we're connected to in one way or another. This is something that we really value in SmartFlow. So when we were thinking about this event, we really wanted to foster genuine connection. We wanted to take this time to talk about it. So what do you guys think about connection? What do you see?
A little bit about, like you said, about us, that we just met and connected, and you never know, like the first day we meet, you can never see this far, right? Yeah. Like the first time we shook hands, you never thought we would be sitting in a room recording this. It's insane. Yeah. It was very innocent connection that it's a seed that kind of grew to being something. Exactly. You just see how much potential really innocent connection has. And business, to some degree, it's a relationship you get into. So for me, connection, I think one way you explained it is that, I mean, you can talk about it a little more, but relating, that we relate with each other to a deeper degree. Like Definitely. For me, you are a person that I look up to other life stuff, right? Imnet is another person I have to look up to for the things that I don't understand and I need help with. There's this like trust, feeling safe. So connection is like beyond what we do. It actually involves holistically everything that's going on around my life.
The first conversation I remember me and Alex having was about music. We both had interest about music, and I remember we walked to a music shop and trying to check out guitars and stuff. Yeah, true. Right. And that's the first conversation that I remember. Relationship is connection. But when we say relationship, we're not necessarily talking about friendship or things that are considered relationship. We're talking about the act of relating with somebody. That's when you genuinely connect with somebody. You would go to an event and then you talk to like a bunch of people, but you remember one or two person that you actually find something that you related with. When we are talking about connection, it's the pursuit of finding things that would relate us. Genuine interest in the other person would foster a connection. When I think about connection, relating with that person is what I think about. There's people that I've hanged out with a lot and I don't feel connection, and there are people that I've met once and after a year, I'll talk to them and I feel connected because I find something that was relating us. When we created this space and we're thinking about networking space, that's definitely one thing that we were talking about. We do a lot of networking events and we each have our own opinions about it, but we all centered on the idea of true connection versus salesy, like sharp, I'm not as very good at that. Maybe you could have your own tech.
Yeah, it's been something that I've been discovering and realizing, especially when I've been able to meet different people in the space of business. One discovery is that people who are just deep in business are really tired of this networking thing that's super salesy. When they sit with people, they don't want to feel like they're being sold to. They actually just say, hey, I just want to chill, nice connection. And no one likes it. Part of the shift is not to think about what you can get out of somebody, what you can acquire from someone, or if you're connecting, what value can they bring to me? When you're meeting with someone, you're like, okay, what value can they bring to me? You're like, what type of level or hierarchy of something are people? It makes everything become super transactional. It's really started to distort a lot of the culture of when you meet people versus the heart of being able to think, what value can I bring to them? How can I help them? The amount of connections you have, true, genuine connections, how you know them, relatability, what taste you put in their mouth at the end of everything, it's a compounding impact. I genuinely think from the perspective of how can I serve you? How can I help him? I can think and not be limited to simply what am I capable of and how I can bring value to you. But it expands because now I can think about all of the connections I have behind me. If I can't help him with the problem he's having, I know someone who can. I'm able to deliver value by connecting these two people. Everyone will remember that, where you're able to help connect someone to serve others. Constantly you're thinking about giving. It seems like just this supernatural law where you sow enough and you'll reap. You'll reap that, but without the intention of being transactional. But by giving, just unapologetically serving, giving real value. And that's been a big heart of ours. You know, we watch business videos or YouTube or whatever, and they teach you about transaction, but you realize like the really high quality people who focus on sales is actually like, it doesn't even feel like sales. Cheap things can work for a while. You can go fast and turn really well. If you're trying to go long, if you're trying to go far in life, it's really about connection.
Yeah. Generally, I didn't have a very excited approach towards like networking events. I can't say I do not like talking to strangers. It's more like I don't want to walk up to a stranger and start a conversation. That's not natural for me. I feel so out of place when I do that. If we look back in our like business journey, I could see how much beneficial people are and our connection are. And some of them, we got them from a networking event. Some of them we didn't. But genuinely, the people that we know has benefited us so much. One thing I realized is people are actually like really awesome. They genuinely want to help people. I would want to help people if I can. Like if you talk to me about like business, naturally, I wouldn't be like, I don't want to help you. The majority of people just want to help people if you can. If it's not very out of place for you or like it's not very inconvenient, you generally want to help people. I also like talking about my business. If we engage in a conversation about my business, I generally would love that. If we talk about the industry or like entrepreneurship, business, making it, you know, all that, I'm interested to talk about those things. I engage in a lot of that kind of conversation, but generally I had bad taste in words networking because there's this sense of you have to sell me who you are in the next 20 seconds or I'm not gonna value you. The approach towards it is not very like, hey, I'm interested in who you are. Rather, okay, what do you do? Are you gonna be valuable to me? I don't wanna waste my time if now you're not valuable to me. And that kind of approach, it works when you're trying to sell, as you said. You have a limited amount of time, you're trying to sell something, it works. Every successful people that we've met, they genuinely wanna help people. To approach with curiosity and genuine interest in the other person is very crucial in making connections as you go, if that makes sense.
The idea that people are extremely amazing, so true, and there's nothing more true than that. Like there's a saying like, one hand can't clap. Like you can't clap with one hand. To clap, you have to have two hands. To get something done, you definitely want an organism, right? Something working together. Like there's always required two or more. There's always just a required thing for something to have life, for something to grow, for something to exponentially grow at least.
Yeah.
And it's just like you said, it's a principle.
This is all to say that people are incredibly valuable. If you approach it with the sense of what you perceive their value is right now, you lose what you could get out of people. The approach should be different. The approach should be with genuine interest in the person and genuine interest to give value. But the other thing that I've noticed is also connection is not just a good tool or like is important or it benefits you. It's also a need for human beings as general or even business owners. It's not just you want to generate X amount of money in your business. There's a genuine need for people to belong. And your business is what you are doing in your life. So you want to have a group of people just doing business or generally interested in the things that you're interested with is a need in human beings. I generally attracted to people that value creativity, that value entrepreneurship, and it is a need in me. I'm just always looking through LinkedIn to see who's doing something incredible with AI. He would reach out to people, like say, hey, like, what are you thinking or whatever. It's
funny you mentioned that. So I remember during my first year of college, I was like, oh my, I have to meet as many people as I can. So I went through LinkedIn and I looked at everyone. I started working at this consulting company for startups on campus. And I started looking through all of the people who used to work there. And I DM'd every single one of them that was a startup. And I was like, hey, like, do you mind if we just have like 30 minutes, an hour? And everyone was down for it. I want to learn from them. I want to know, I want to pick their brain on things. And if it wasn't for them, honestly, I would say there's a lot of hard challenges that I probably wouldn't have been able to go through or discover or figure out. And I'm very thankful to those people. It was in that idea of like connection, right? Having just one thing in common between the two of you guys that can kind of bring you in, whether it's what school you guys went to, what job, or you guys have the same interest, or you guys wonder and think about the same things. Because we had that connection, it opened doors for us to have conversations. And my senior year, like, I'm able to just have a conversation with a CTO who got like their company evaluated for $600 million in like a Series A, Series B funding. And I'm just able to talk to him. And that inspired me to talk to other people and to just give my time and share, because it becomes this chain effect of being able to share your ideas, thoughts. Yeah. Someone taught me a bunch of things that I can never forget. I would like to do that to the people around me. That's just the pattern of what you see even older people do. You would think, oh, they got there because they fought for every dollar they made, but it looked like they went and was trying to just give people things and help people and serve.
I recently felt comfortable to reach out to people and say, hey, like, I want to pick your brain on this thing. Will you be okay with that, to hop on a call, or like to have coffee and stuff? Like, I used to feel so uncomfortable to do that, and I realized it's actually like a lack of some sort of humbleness in me, and also like fear of not being impressive. I felt like I needed to impress them to even get that chance, and I'm thinking, what would impress them for them to engage in a conversation with me? But I realized a lot of people don't think that way. I wouldn't think that way, and also I shouldn't think that way. If I embrace humbleness and just say, hey, like, I want to learn from you, you are doing something that I want to do, and you've done it way better than I know how to do, or I'm confused with this thing. What do you think about? How did you overcome this challenge? People are not generally opposed to that. A lot of business, even if you had those resources, it's really hard to do. They don't mind like sharing those things. Like, please just take this. If you're able to do this, and like if you succeed, I don't mind. Like, you deserve to do that. So people are not gatekeepers. I realize a lot of people are just like, they just want to share.
If you take the word business and kind of flipped it on the other side, it should say connection. From my view, it's about that. Like, these days I'm like so interested in how sales happen from point A to when you pay in monetary transaction, but that's definitely not where sales end, right? How do you actually connect beyond the payment? I can sell this, and I can throw a bunch of hype of advertisement and sell you a product, but then if you don't buy it again, actually my business does not survive. It's not sustainable. It's just a rise and just a pitfall. It's beyond that. It's beyond the transaction. It's connection. And being able to, from the day you meet somebody, from the moment I think in sales, because I run a business, I have to think in sales. Like, I have to think a lot of things in sales because my life is also business, right? Sales has this evil, I think, connotation, as if I'm going into your pocket about to steal something that you're not willingly giving because you're actually receiving value. But sales, when realizing to the most sincerest form, is connection. I connected with you so well. I relate with you so well. Now, it doesn't feel like you're being robbed when you pay your hard-earned money. Connection pays off more than anything in business. Met a guy right today and just looked at him like, he looked so sharp. I'm like, man, you look so sharp. I had my arms around him. I was like, my God, you look so good. That's connection. That's connection. That's adding value to that person's morning. It's to make them feel good, feel better, and feel like they belong, feel like they're deserving of my adoration, affection, and kind of time, like that, giving them the space of time to make it about them. It's good. It's a good thing when you feel like your existence matters and adds to the life, like the general life of society. And then when you translate it in business, your existence matters to the general market, the general ecosystem, what we call economy, right? As I'm growing is when I'm kind of feeling like my decisions matter. The people I know matter. Because I can call somebody and I say, hey, can you help me out with this and that? And they're like, I don't know if I can. But let me call somebody that I know. And then all of a sudden, you just get stuff done. It's all connection.
I watched this podcast once. This guy was a millionaire and he got invited to a billionaires club. He had the chance to talk to billionaires. If you know, like, it's really hard to make millions, and then
I don't know.
Even people who are like making hundreds of millions, to get to a billion is another step, right?
Yeah.
He's asking this a billionaire. He's asking him, what would you say is a difference between a millionaire and a billionaire? What is this single thing, if you have to choose, that makes a difference in? And the billionaire said, network. I'm thinking, like, what does that mean? And the more interaction that I've had, every successful people that I've met, they just have this approach towards people, and they just have genuine connection to people.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a very huge wisdom in regards to how you go about doing business. How do we cultivate connection is a question, and that's why we're going to talk about next episode, because we're going to talk about space. Whatever we want to cultivate, we create space for it. So stay tuned for next episode.
Yeah.